Becoming is better than being, and that is why we are a work in progress. It means that you are never complete and that you always have the ability to become better.
Yes, it allows you to make mistakes and be comfortable while doing them. We are a work in progress. I am GW.
I am AX, and our friend here is GK. We've stolen your thunder.
I am your host, GK. Welcome to the show. So today, before we get into our discussions today, number one, welcome back to the table, Mr. GW, our chairman. Before we get in, if you're noticing me, I'm wearing full sleeve shirts I'm dressed for the weather. We're in Kenya winter time. I don't know how you guys are surviving this weather.
Ice in my veins.
Ice in your veins.
I like it. So today, our producer Anna has created for us a game, and it's related. It's completely the opposite of our theme, but you'll see as we get along.
Okay.
So this game is themed around the 1990s, pop culture, things like that. Ooh. Hopefully most of us existed in that period. I'm not gonna name ages, but we'll go from there. So all right. I think I will ask AX first, then GW will ask me, and we'll conclude by AX asking GW.
Sour.
We go? Alright, AX, are you ready?
No.
Good. Doesn't matter. What was the highest grossing film of the 1990s?
Did Die Hard come out in the 1990s? Was it Titanic?
Did Titanic come out in the 1990s?
Yeah, Lion King also came out in the 1990s. A lot of good Disney movies came out in the 90s. Yeah.
Film.
It's tough, right? Because anything by Miramax as well. Okay, I'm going to go either Titanic or Lion King.
Did Titanic come out in the 90s? It came out in the 90s. Correct, it is the Titanic.
Woo! Wherever you are.
Throw her off, but it's okay. Next question.
Yes.
What was the name of the popular furry toy that was believed to be a spy?
A Furby?
I think so.
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that is.
It's a Furby, yeah.
No idea. You guys are clearly older than me. Next one.
What?
Tiger Woods was 21 when he won his first ever Masters. Masters is like the biggest golf tournament. True or false?
False?
Wrong. It is true. Tiger Woods, many of us, think of it now. Tiger Woods is the age of our parents now. He's like 50s, mid-50s, early 60s. So you think it makes sense that he'd be in his 20s in the 90s.
Fair enough. But in my defense, I only know Tiger Woods because of the whole...
He's a black golfer.
No, because he cheated on his wife.
Oh, okay. Now you're crazy.
What?
Next question. What video game was the first ever to be played in space?
Either Tetris
Video game.
or Pac-Man.
People in the 90s had video games. I'm just kidding.
Maybe Mortal Kombat.
Space. No.
It has to be something simple. So I'm going to guess either Tetris, Pac-Man, or
Think of like a space.
like Space Invaders / Asteroids.
Pick one.
Do that is like related to space.
I'm not even sure. Fine, Space Invaders / Asteroid. I'm not sure if it's...
If you had gone with your heart, I think you'd have gotten it. The answer was Tetris.
Damn.
Okay.
Sorry.
In the movie, I've
Yes.
never watched this movie, by the way. In the movie Fight Club, what was the first rule?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Come on.
You're going to make me break it. You're about to break it. Don't talk about Fight Club.
Do you even know what the question I was going to ask you?
So you did have to
What was the
finish
first
it.
rule of Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Okay, okay, fine. Freshly Mwamburi's song, Esther Wangu, was about the love of his life returning from studying in Japan with another man. Is it true or false?
Do you know the song?
I don't.
Guys, do you know the song?
I refuse to answer your question.
He can neither confirm nor
I can
deny.
neither confirm nor deny.
So I'm going to guess yes, it's true.
No, it is wrong because the song was called Stella Wangu. There you go. Okay, who's asking the next question?
I'm going to be asking Chairman right here.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
What was the name of the character played by Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone? The guy that went...
Kevin!
What's his last name?
Culkin.
Kevin.
No.
No, Kevin.
It's McCain.
No,
No.
stop it.
It's right at the tip of the tongue.
Kevin.
He was
Kevin
right
was-
about the whole Mac thing.
I know it.
Mackenzie.
McAllister. So I'll give you like 50%, 50%.
All right. One of the best movie. Used to watch it on like the local channels every like Christmas season.
It's a Christmas movie. It's great.
Amazing. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Tomorrow, it's not Christmas.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so what popular digital pet did everyone have in the 90s?
Digital pet?
I know those Tamagotchis.
It was a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
What are these things?
Okay,
Okay,
so
It was like a little thing that you had. It was a pet.
clearly my life.
Some
in the
people
90s
still
was
have like
different.
Tamagotchis that are still alive, and it's been like 30 years. Yeah. In what year did Princess Diana die in a car accident?
This one you should know. All our parents were devastated by it for some reason.
Because she was an angel.
Butcher this, 97?
Yeah, 97.
Yeah.
31st of August, 1997.
Yeah.
Okay. Now closed. What was the full name of the popular water park along Langata Road? With so
Splash.
many good memories. Yes,
Splash.
Splash. I miss it.
Yeah. That
Okay.
that
All right,
was
you
the
ready?
place.
Okay, the hit song "Wannabe" was released by which girl group?
Wannabe.
Oh, me, I thought I don't wanna be anything. Okay.
If I sing it, you will know it.
Can you hum it?
I think it's that one. So tell me what you want. What you
Okay,
really
Spice
want.
Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And when
Who's your
did-
favorite spice?
No,
Baby?
well, how is that a spice? Anyways,
No,
it's okay.
it's the Spice Girl.
I know. I'm just.
When did the Google search engine launch?
98?
Yes. Ooh.
I'm killing this.
Woo! Woo! I guess Joel, you are the person to be.
Next, you ask
GK.
me. Yeah, me, I'm ready to.
I
Are
wanna
you
see, I wanna
ready?
see.
100%.
He's gonna get these.
The animated space film, the animated film Space Jam featured former basketball player
Michael
Charles Barkley. True
Okay.
or false?
Wait.
True. Charles Barkley was in it.
Correct.
And Michael Jordan and the others also.
Yeah, okay. In which computer game was the objective to avoid the bombs?
That was the best computer game ever. I've never finished that game in my life. Never finished it.
Even on easy.
Even on easy, it's extremely difficult. What's the purpose of that? It's Minesweeper.
Yeah.
Correct. In what year did Jaramogi Odinga die?
Oh, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the man from Ramogi, father of Raila Odinga. As you can tell, I am buying time.
Yes.
1994.
Yeah.
Correct.
Don't mess with me and my history.
A sheep was cloned for the first time in the 1990s. What was its name?
The name of a sheep cloned in the 1990s.
It's a
You
very
know
famous
this.
sheep.
Yeah, we all, like you learned about it in biology.
Think about. No, let me not say.
Yeah, because you'll get it.
Baba Black sheep.
No. Think about. Can I give him a hint?
No, because if you give me a hint, you'll get
Give me a
it.
hint. I don't have
I'm
it.
going to say something like think about country music.
Oh yeah, I should think about country music.
Kenny Rogers.
No.
No, okay.
I don't know what this thing was called.
Think about a toy that girls play with.
Barbie.
Okay, Barbie is a what?
Allow.
A doll.
Okay, now you add a Y.
Dolly the sheep.
Yes.
Yes.
We're not gonna count that. We're not gonna
count
count it.
What artist won a Grammy for Best Reggae Album in 1995?
You know one of his songs.
I'm going to attack Anna because she knows the one thing about my reggae and my Rastafarianism, my Rastas rather, is I
It's
don't
only
like,
hair deep.
is I don't like reggae. Okay, I
No.
only like
You know this guy.
Damian Marley.
No. I will. Okay. Can I?
Shaggy.
Yes.
Really? Okay. Is he
And
reggae?
finally,
It's raga.
Jaleel White, played by what character in the show Family Matters?
Have I watched Family Matters? Never.
You know it.
The guy that specs and the suspenders.
Oh, Urkel.
Yes.
Yes. But full name?
Tom Urkel. Steve Urkel.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
We got there in the end.
That was it.
That was it. Okay, I think it's clear that there was a two-way tie between GW and AX. I'll accept that I am a man of the modern. I like the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. You know, if you asked me that, I would have passed it. But anyways, there was a reason.
Noted. Next time.
Just saying. But there was a reason that these questions were being asked to us, and it's because today we're going to talk about something extremely modern, and that is the world and the space that is social media.
Yeah.
So for our discussion today, we're going to divide it into two sort of segments of discussion. Number one is about the way we interact with social media, and number two is something else. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask is if you guys have seen this thing that has gone, it goes viral. It's called mukbang, where basically you sit in front of a screen and eat as much food as possible, and people watch you eat.
And you give stories and tell people about your life.
Sometimes give stories So there's this one guy who had been doing it for a long time, and people started to realize that his health had been deteriorating, consistently deteriorating. Every time he does these videos, he tries to one-up himself, and every time he would continue to go down.
Yeah.
And so it led to a question that I wanted to ask. Does social media create a sense of needing to do more, like giving away your health for the purposes of people liking you?
Yes and no. The reason why I'm going to say no is because for this YouTuber, that is their job. Like if they're not consistently posting content that goes viral or gets a certain amount of views, they will not earn the money that they need to sustain their lifestyle. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm just saying it's our job. You could ask you could ask the same question of every single employed person on the planet. Like, are you giving up too much? Oh, by the way, the answer is it's unhealthy. Yeah. Are you giving up too much for the sake of your job? But the reason why I do think the answer is yes as to why it's also unhealthy is because social media, especially with a like button, creates a way for you to quantify how much you are liked and how far wide-reaching that amiability, that likeness is. So you are incentivized to keep posting content that more people will like. Yeah. Like that's the I don't want to just overgeneralize, but like that's the reason why some girls may post pictures that are a little bit more revealing as opposed to like a basic smile shot. Yeah. Because the more revealing photo is more likely to get likes than like your smiling picture. Yeah. Yeah.
So who are you trying to impress with? Let me first say that none of us are innocent of this.
Oh yeah.
I can say some people call me a bit of a, and I don't agree with them. They call me a bit of a guka, which is false. I'm very hip.
No
one who is hip
ever says I am hip.
I'm very hip.
Especially the word hip.
And I have very good hips. So I can't be a guka. But anyways, the whole point was when I was younger, I didn't know about Facebook till I was like in Form 2, Form 3.
Like how long had it been active since you knew?
I don't know.
So Form 2, Form 3 is like 16, 17?
So I was like 15. 4 years. I was like 15. Let's say I was like 15.
So at least 4 years.
Probably. So people were telling me you need to get to this Facebook thing, you need to get into this Facebook thing. And so during ICT class, like we always do, you learn to put an S on the HTTP and you get to Facebook. And the main thing I would do is write posts seeking likes. And then I'd get depressed if I'd get like under 10 likes. You know, those things. I must get a minimum of 10 likes because I have a minimum of 10 friends in my school. If those 10 people do not like my content, who's going to like my content? And it made me get a very unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
Every time, I'm a very big football fan. Every time a goal would be scored, I try and be the first person to post so that I can get
the most likes.
The most responses.
Or have the wittiest comment to get the most
likes. Wittiest comment. And I realized that I'm going into an endless cycle, in my opinion, at that point where I didn't feel social media was going to... I was just wanting to chase something of people who are not. I am for people who are on social media for their own mental health, for their own growth. But the people who depend on the likes, depend on the views, I think it creates an unhealthy relationship because consumers are exposed, especially with like something like TikTok, you're exposed to so much content. It easily becomes, okay, this I've seen before, boring, and you move on. So then you're like, I need to one-up it. I need to do something else. Instead of eating 10 burgers, let me eat 45 burgers. Things like that. So that for me is the problem with social media.
Now, funny enough, I was on TikTok today, and I saw this video by a very popular personality. It's called Gary V. And there was this lady who found him like at a convention and was asking, how do I protect my daughter or my children from the ills of social media and you know what it has? And said it's one of two things. And he feels very passionately about them. The first thing is cut off all social media.
Yeah.
And realistically,
it's not possible.
It's not possible because your kid is growing up in a world where everything, all the people they interact with on social media.
And kids are very good at evading their parents.
True that. And also to add to that point, it says a lot that the people who work at companies like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok do not let their own kids access these services. It says a lot.
2, the thing now which he was more focused on is that instead of shielding your kid or trying to teach them the ways of social media, reassure them as they grow up to have a strong self-esteem,
self-confidence.
Yeah, self-confidence, self-esteem, to know that anything that happens out there, you know, like at least you have value within yourself.
Yeah.
Not find value outside of yourself and in social media.
Yeah.
And to also be very self-aware. Because when you're at home or you're at work, you can't always be there 24/7 to monitor or guide or tell your kid what to do. They have to also navigate all those things on their own. And another thing about how a lot of these, you know, social media sites or platforms are, they're geared towards that.
Yeah.
So he was also explaining how TikTok, the way it's been designed, is to get your attention more so on the content and not so much, or even the personality. On the personalities.
It's just to expose yourself to endless
As much-
Just endless content.
So that's what
So
endless scroll is about.
Endless scroll. So you find that even when you're asked, oh, so what is the name of the person or the video you last watched?
Yeah,
no
I don't
idea.
know.
You probably don't know.
No idea.
No, so you're just used to that constant, like in and out of scrolling. So yeah, I mean, I found that very interesting.
Okay, so that leads me to the second part of the question. Now, there's this subsection of people who are seeking the likes and seeking the support and seeking the fame that have driven me to almost annoyance. And it is the people who conduct things called random acts of kindness on social media. The reason I say that I get very frustrated by them is you see someone going to help some homeless people, but the first thing you must do is go and put a camera of yourself going to help the homeless person. Me, I was taught at home that some of the things you do in giving don't need to be seen. They don't need, because you're seeking internal fulfillment, not the fulfillment of the world. Another guy became very popular. He'd walk into a mall, and in America they have paying where you just tap your card. And so he'd go and tap his card at someone and then walk away. And you think, wow, you know, at least that's nice. But there's a camera focusing, and he's got a microphone like I do on his chest.
Yeah.
He's prepared.
He's prepared.
Like it's like
to
scripted.
do a random act of kindness. So what do you guys think about the whole idea of random acts of kindness on social media?
Chairman?
I'll put a twist on it. You know when you go for a harambe, it's just, I think it's just a new way to do things, honestly. I mean, it's got to be a bit of a hot take. I think it's just a new way that people have found to give. Fine, it's not the best, maybe it's not the cleanest, but it's just similar. So when you go for harambe, the audience is there, you have the MC with the mic, and then they have that basket just there with a table, it even has like a nice ribbon on it. And they say, GK has come, this is his envelope, they've given X amount of money.
Yes, they
Hey,
do,
my coffee,
yeah.
my coffee. Next person, they come, and then that somehow, even you were not planning to give that
Yeah.
day. You're like, hey, GK has removed 10 things. Let me also step
Remove
up
a little something.
and remove another, and then, hey, my coffee. And ideally, that sense of harambe,
Positive reinforcement.
positive reinforcement, it somehow is like spread out of it. So some of those random acts of kindness videos, like you have a katia at the corner of your like
Never.
Listen, there are people who curate these things so well. You know they're scripted, but you just can't help but feel like, damn, that was a moving story. Like, oh, this person has been waiting here for 9 hours every day waiting for a job. You get to see like their life story in like 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, man. The next time I see someone, I might do something. Maybe you won't want to record yourself, but you might think twice about helping another person.
Hey, AX, tell me you're on my side.
Okay, so I do agree with Chairman on this one because the internet is a dark and terrifying place, and all that we are seeing right now is like just 10% of how much worse it can be. So I am for people consciously trying to spread positivity on the platform because, and this is like according to a Wall Street Journal survey, about 12% of the more than 2 billion users of Facebook are affected by negative content. This means that over 360 million people regularly view just a never-ending stream of negative content. Now think about what that does to your mental health. If you're just seeing this, like it will shape the entire way you see the world.
Yeah.
You just see it as a dark and dangerous and terrifying place. And I'm hoping that like these videos, even if they're scripted and choreographed, I'm hoping that they will not only inspire people to do more acts of kindness, but inspire people to be more optimistic about the world.
But
Having said that, if you're going to record yourself as you're doing an act of kindness, please don't. Take into consideration the other person you're trying to help, right? Because maybe they don't want to be recorded in that moment, right? Maybe that's not the way they want their image to be preserved on the internet, right?
Because neither of you are answering one of the questions that I want to get into your head. Into this social media random acts of kindness.
Which is?
And it's about your psyche. Now, you as givers, you two as people who've given, I hope you've given something before. Let's hope. 50% hopeful. Does impact matter more than intention? Because that's the whole issue with this whole thing. These guys are making impact. They're trying to make a statement rather than necessarily. Do you feel you have to feel nice inside?
I have an answer. I can't eat your intentions. Impact matters more.
But don't you think that giving is supposed to be this internal sense of happiness you receive from it? It's not about other people being happy at my giving. It's about me being happy in my giving.
That's true.
I think they matter equally, and I'm going to say by way of an example. Let's say you've really, really made me angry, and I try to hit you, and in my swing, I end up hitting Chairman. Right? My intention was to hit you, because like you duck and momentum is just, So you move out the way. My intention was to hit you, but the impact hurt him. Right? They're both equally important because I intended to cause harm, and I did cause harm. So I think we need to weigh them and stop trying to say one matters more than the other. Yeah.
I'll say this. I am not convinced by you guys, but that is okay. I will say that we're going to take a break right here, and then we'll come back after the break to conclude with our final segment. Welcome back to Work in Progress. And now to conclude the show, we're going to conclude with a segment that we're going to keep doing once in a while because of how important it is to this generation. And that's matters climate change, climate innovation.
So convince us.
So convince us. We're going to do a convince us on climate change and climate innovation. We only have like 5 minutes, so we're going to go through it a bit quickly. But I'm going to start with mine because mine will be the example, and I think mine is the best. Just my opinion. Okay. So you know that cows are some of the biggest contributors of methane to they're one of the biggest issues for climate change. Cows.
Just explain, sorry.
Cows, moo.
Yeah.
The stuff that they produce, they're farting and they're burping.
Okay.
Causes a lot of methane gas to enter the atmosphere. So they're one of the biggest contributors to climate change crises. However, there are many countries and there are many people who beef and those things is their livelihood.
Beef.
They have a lot of beef with each other. So one of those things. So New Zealand is a country that thrives on cattle. Both cows
they do.
and sheep. We all know that New Zealand have good sheep.
They do.
And they have about 26 million sheep.
Oh.
That's more than their population. I think
There are
their
more
population-
sheep than people.
I think their population is like 2 million, but they have 26 million sheep. They've got like 10 million cows.
Are they not worried about these animals working together to overthrow them?
Sheepocalypse.
Yeah, a sheepocalypse. A cowpocalypse.
You guys need to stop sheeping. So,
A cowpocalypse. Okay, don't.
A cowpocalypse.
wow. Okay. So, the way that New Zealand have thought of dealing with this is by introducing what they call a burp tax, which is basically creating an income that you get from a taxing income that you get from farmers for the burps and the removal of burps and things for cows in order to pay into climate change solving issues. So the process is not, they said by 2025 is when it hopefully will begin, but the process has already begun. And it's going to significantly reduce the emissions of New Zealand by just introducing a burp tax. What it also does is makes incentive to farmers and agricultural sector players to seek for alternatives to what the cows consume so that they don't produce as much methane.
Okay.
So burp tax, it's a thing.
All right, mine is to bring back from the dead the woolly mammoth and combine its DNA with an elephant to create if I can get this name correctly,
A mammophant.
no, a mammophant. A mammophant.
Why?
Okay.
Okay, so let me explain. So there's this company called Colossal Laboratories and Biosciences, and they announced that they are planned to de-extinct woolly mammoths by combining their genetic information with the genetic information of an Asian elephant. Okay. Their idea is
Of
that
an Asian elephant?
of an Asian elephant, right?
Closest ancestor. Maybe.
Okay, their idea is that they want to halt the process of the permafrost that is melting, because like that's releasing more things into the air, by unleashing these giant elephants, mammothants, to uproot trees and stomp down the grass to expose more permafrost to the cold Arctic air and ensure that it freezes over and we have more ice.
Wow.
The unfortunate thing is that they can't create enough of them.
Wait.
Oh, sounds
Yeah.
like a colossal
I think I need to
failure.
read on
And
that.
also, yeah, you should. And also, like, some scientists just think it's not going to work. And the whole point of a woolly elephant was never to, like, create more permafrost or whatever. They were just living their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. GW.
Yes.
Okay,
Yours.
I came with two solutions.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just be a bit extra.
Teach us better.
So the first one is
Jealous.
to cover who's the, anyway.
Who's the teacher? The producers. The producers.
I thought it's the fans. Come on.
It's for the fans. It's for the fans.
So yeah, the idea is to. Okay, we know the continent, Greenland, country.
Yeah.
Country.
Greenland. Sorry. The idea is to cover it with a white reflective blanket, like the whole country.
Okay.
Yeah. So for scale, Greenland is 3 times bigger than Kenya. The idea here is it's somehow okay. The reflection of the light, like from the sun, on that patch of where we are in the world or where it is in the world, will reduce the amount of heat that is trapped in like our atmospheres, and hence lowering the temperatures and yeah.
Are there people who live in Greenland?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 2 people. But like it's like a very remote. It's like a very remote.
Okay, so I feel like you forgot to mention something. Greenland has all the ice. Iceland has all the green.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a.
Yeah, so the story goes like the Vikings found Iceland and really wanted to like do an old switcheroo, make sure nobody else would find it, so they called it Iceland. Then when they found Greenland, they were like, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one is seed bombs.
Seed bombs.
Seed bombs. So it sounds exactly as it is. Flying like planes over certain areas of arable land
Kalibu, Kenya.
and dropping like seed bombs for trees. And I found out, I don't know the exact statistic, but when we were doing our survey, like for Kenya, like our geospatial mapping and everything, a majority of our land is actually very like arable, and this is like and this was tested by like people, scientists, or what do you call them? Like scientists for
environmentalists,
agri-scientists for Israel, and they said like, dude, you can drop these seeds anywhere and trees will grow.
We should do
So, yeah.
it.
So seed bombs.
Seed bombs.
And
Blanket.
putting a whole blanket.
Of a
And
green
then
land.
you're bringing
Mammothants.
Okay, mammothant, and me, I'm saying bab tanks. Okay, so that's where we're going to conclude today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. And we here, the team of Work in Progress, will be here with you, as we always have. Next time, let's see you.
Stay humble.